At the state capitol, lawmakers wrapped up a regular session, passing a $12.8 billion budget Friday. But there's concern that the governor may not sign the budget as is. Governor Stitt says it's too pricey and doesn't include tax cuts. Our Capitol reporter Haley Wager explains.
After 4 months of policy work, the 59th legislature wrapped up this year's regular session. But after one of the governor's main priorities didn't make it into the budget, Stitt could be calling lawmakers back to the Capitol this summer.
Education, education, education was the focus for me this year.
With education being a main priority for the 59th legislature, some lawmakers say tax cuts got lost in the conversation.
We did not realize the level of tax reform that we wanted to see this session. Of course, 3.5 months was consumed by education.
The governor called for the state's personal income tax to be lowered by 0.25% and for the grocery tax to be completely eliminated, neither of which made it into the final $12.8 billion budget.
I'm considering calling people back for another special session.
Lawmakers have mixed feelings about that.
It would not surprise me that we had a special session on that again this summer.
He did it last year. It didn't work out for him. So I don't anticipate him doing that this year.
Already cut taxes over $200 million this year. So coming back to talk about more tax cuts right now, we've already done it.
While lawmakers didn't create lasting legislation on the grocery or personal income tax, they did pass a handful of smaller tax cuts, including lowering the franchise tax and eliminating the marriage penalty within the tax code. Senate Pro Tem Greg Treat says it just wasn't in the budget to do the larger tax cuts.
We tried to look at balancing recurring revenue, and those tax cuts that we could afford through the franchise and the marriage penalty, we were ready to accept.
On the other hand, House Speaker Charles McCall continues pushing for those big tax cuts, now that they've passed a historic education package.
Even if we spend all time next year on tax cuts, we're going to get that done.
For Oklahoma's Own, I'm Haley Wager.